Welcome once again to Counseling 101. In this session, we shall look at the beloveds and 8 things to consider when choosing your beloved or a life partner. So the question is, who is a beloved? My beloved is mine and I am his. Song of Solomon 2:16. A beloved is a person with whom you have a relationship which is intended to end up in marriage, which means a beloved is different from a lover. In other words, he or she is the man or woman you have officially agreed to marry. Some use the terms fiancé or fiancé, boyfriend or girlfriend to describe the relationship, but in this video we shall use the term beloved. The advice is that young men and women should not have close relationships with the opposite sex, especially when it is not intended for marriage, as these boyfriends and girlfriends commonly involve themselves in immoral vices such as fornication. Therefore, such relationships should be entered into solely for the purpose of marriage, and that the period for developing the relationship before the marriage, traditionally referred to as courtship, should not be too long. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. 1 Corinthians 7:2. Another important question one must consider is whether you are sure you want to marry this person who is your beloved. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. Genesis 24:58. Now let us look at 8 things to consider when choosing a life partner or a beloved. First on the list is whether he or she is committed to God. In other words, is he or she a Christian or share your faith? Because the fact that the parents are good does not mean the child will also be a good spouse. The second thing to consider is that don't marry just because your parents say so. Your intended partner should be your friend, not a person your parents are imposing on you. The third thing to consider is that if you marry too early, you will miss out on certain things in life. Your youth, your time of being single and free, etc. Therefore, timing is very key. 4. The fourth thing to consider, the fact that people do not really change, and so anything that you do not like about your beloved and therefore spouse is also not likely to change. The fifth thing to consider is whether you will be in a position to manage financially. In other words, are you working or have a good source of income to help you manage financially? The sixth thing to consider when choosing a life partner is whether you have a place to stay when you marry. The seventh thing to consider is whether tribal differences are going to affect your marriage. Some families have issues with some tribes, therefore be sure the tribe you are marrying from. And finally, the eighth thing to consider when choosing a life partner is the disparity in levels of education. The question is, what level of education do you want your spouse to be? Now that you have chosen your beloved or life partner, it's important to introduce this person to the church. Here are some reasons why a relationship should be registered in the church. Every church should have a register in which is recorded pertinent details of its members who are intending to get married. This serves as the official recognition of the relationship by the church and should be done at least 6 months prior to the intended marriage. The reasons are that this will ascertain if some people are married already. Some couples may already have children from the current or a past relationship. In some cultures, it is customary to have what is known as a traditional wedding ceremony. It is important to know if the couple have performed the said rites or not. Any such ceremony, tradition, or rite must be brought to light. Failure to disclose such information may lead to a termination of the relationship. The second reason is to ensure that all such relationships are not hidden. It is imperative that all relationships be open before God, the pastor, and the church congregation. Carrying out the relationship openly also helps to promote a healthy and wholesome relationship. And the third reason to register your relationship with the church is to get to know the couple better. By registering the couple, you will learn about them in a more personal manner, such as the couple's full name for completing the register, their Christian commitment, the church of your members beloved, if not from your church, their church activity levels, confirm any past relationships, ascertain if there is any incidence as of fornication, both past and present. It will determine if they are virgins, confirm whether present relationship is smooth or stormy, and finally, know how soon they intend to marry. Unduly long relationships are not encouraged. Here are 10 facts to discover through the official recognition of a relationship. 1. Name and age of both the man and woman. 2. Date the relationship began. 3. How long they have known each other. 4. Sickle cell status of both the man and woman. 5. HIV status of both the man and woman. 6. Any other medical condition, epilepsy, blood pressure, high fever, etc. 7. Educational background of both the man and woman. 8. Working experience of both the man and woman. 9. Parental knowledge and consent. 10. Tentative wedding date. Let us now look at sickle cell and HIV tests. The relevance of this lesson is to place the request by the church for a sickle cell test and an HIV test into proper perspective. With the sickle cell test, if the couple have a result of AA sickling negative and as there is no real problem, if both of the couple have an S somewhere that is sickling positive, the counselor should advise a breakup of the relationship for the following reasons. There is a 25% chance of having an SS child, which means that any or all of their children could be SS. It could also mean that none may be SS. This situation could also be compared to having a boy or girl. There is a 50% chance of having a boy or girl. This means that one could have all children as boys or all as girls. Medically, the SS child can have problems such as 1. Frequent admissions to the hospital. 2. Numerous expenses relating to medical care. 3. Many hours will be spent at the hospital. 4. Possibility of sudden death of child. 5. Time otherwise to be spent at home will be spent at the hospital. 6. This will be an extra strain on the wife mother in addition to all her roles. 7. This could lead to quarrels at home and a possible shortage of money. 8. There is likely to be a morbid fear of pregnancy, which could also affect the sex life of the couple. 9. The child itself will be a very unhappy one. The counselor may ask the beloveds to recall whether they are acquainted with any sickler. The acceptable situation is that they both be sickling negative or at worst, one negative and one positive. If both are positive, then the situation could be dangerous. Medical advice is against such a marriage, however, the decision is theirs. If a couple decides to go ahead in spite of all the medical and church counsel, their marriage will still be blessed. They will be supported in prayer so that, by God's grace, they will not have any sickness-prone children. Now, what about HIV test? If either partner is positive, they should be strongly advised to break up the relationship and forget about the planned marriage for obvious reasons. After receiving results of medical tests requested, discuss the issues arising from the results with the couple. Confirm general progress towards their engagement and determine a tentative date for the wedding. While in a relationship, the couple is expected to be holy. It is important to exhort them strongly to desist from fornication. The counselor should not be judgmental. The couple should be encouraged to be active in the church and to stay on the safe road of holiness. Some don'ts in a relationship between beloveds. 1. Avoid hugging, holding, and kissing. 2. Don't sit on his lap. 3. Don't stay indoors alone with your beloved for long periods. 4. Don't be alone in isolated places at odd hours. 5. Don't put your hands under the skirt or through the flap. 6. Don't sleep or lie on the same bed with your beloved. 7. Don't undress in the presence of your beloved. 8. Don't fondle the breasts, vagina, and penis. 9. Don't have sex with your beloved, that is fornication. Premarital counseling covers a period of 6 months. The couple must be informed to start their counseling early enough to cover all aspects of the counseling before the wedding. Counselors should not yield to pressure to perform weddings at short notice. This may be deceptive. This is for the lady. It is considered to be the fault of the lady if any sin of immorality occurs. This is because even though men are usually under a lot of sexual tension in the relationship, the woman must not give in to this pressure. She should be encouraged to be in control of the relationship. She must have a great deal of respect for herself and never allow anyone to mess about with her. She must be urged to keep her virginity intact so that when she happens to be counseling in the future, she can say in confidence what she did not do while courting. Now, preparing for the wedding, the checklist. The preparation must be discussed with the couple and much advice as possible must be given. The following areas can discuss: choice of venue, bridal dress, possibility of borrowing one must be mentioned, suits, groom, and best man, car is to be used, timing of wedding, time of arrival of bride, alert them to things that delay brides, scripture reading, choice of couple, chairperson optional, seating plan at the high table include parents, chairperson, etc. Should normally exclude pastors, alcohol at wedding, proposal of toast and response. Advise that it be made as short as possible with rendition of thanks to God, parents, pastors, and other key persons. Necessary permit city council, local council in charge of marriages in your area or country, picture taking. Beware of mercenary photographers who have not been invited but will come later with pictures they took to demand money, video coverage, decorations, honeymoon arrangements, and finally, caution them not to use all their money for the wedding. Thanks for watching, and we hope you have learned something. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next counseling session.